Hey, what is going on, everybody? You have Tone here, and I am here bringing you guys the Team Builder and Battle for the IBL Season 5, Week number 7. This week, we are taking on the New York Excelpikas, coached by KreselleKey. Her links and stuff will be in the description down below. Be sure to check her out if you haven't done so already. And be sure to check out all the other coaches in the IBL as well if you haven't done so, as well as the link to the IBL Discord will also be in the description, as always. So if you guys missed our last week, we took on the Chester Chinchows in our Week 6 game, and we came away with a very nice 6-0 win on the back of our Mega Glade, picking up all 6 kills in that game. So we are now currently 2-4 on the season. Still have some work to do if we want to make our way back into the playoff race. We're like 2 games behind. And we are taking on the New York Excelpikas, like I mentioned, who's not having the best season herself. She is heading into this matchup. She's 0-6, and she has, despite the fact that she's 0-6, she still has a very threatening team. As you see in the bottom of your screen, she has the Zeraora, which was the #1 pick in the draft. She has Togedemaru with Z moves, Mimikyu, Salazzle with Z moves, Mienshao, Lapras with Z moves, Mega Sceptile, Hoopa Unbound, Type Null, Mega with Z moves, and the Rhydon. So, just looking at a glance from Crest's team, well, first and foremost, the double electrics are kind of interesting. Usually, electric spam can be utilized very well if the opponent doesn't have a very good ground type, or their ground type can be overwhelmed by anything else on your team to go along with it. So I don't really have a problem with the electric spam. Kind of curious of the team structure here. Her only stealth rocker or hazard setter in general is the Rhydon, which can be pressured by my Seismitoad and a good portion of my team, actually, all things considered. But not want to take her teams for granted. She has a very threatening team, mainly the fact that she does have the Hoopa Unbound. And Hoopa Unbound can be a very, very threatening mon, just depending on the set she brings against me. Although I do have a decent switch into Hoopa Unbound, being the Drapion. As you see by my team that I brought, I didn't even bring Drapion at all in this matchup. So I'll pretty much explain my thought process behind my reasoning as to why I didn't bring Drapion for Hoopa. But I feel as though I prepped adequately enough without Hoopa, like, tearing my team a new one, if anything. So just to jump right into the team here, not to waste too much time in the matchup here, just wanted to get right into the nitty-gritty of things. So first up, we have our Mega Glade here, pretty much a similar cut to what I brought Week 6, the only difference being the coverage options for my Mega Glade. Instead of Zen Headbutt Ice Punch, we have Rock Slide and X Scissor. So just looking at Crest's entire team, the combination of Drain Punch and Rock Slide hits everything on her team neutrally. Just looking at the just right out her team, Zeraora Drain Punch, Togedemaru Drain Punch, Mimikyu is pretty much the main issue here, but I have Rock Slide, so at least hit that thing neutrally. Salazzle, Rock Slide, Mienshao Drain Punch, Lapras Drain Punch, Mega Sceptile gets 2 KO by Drain Punch, Hoopa Unbound gets 2 KO by Drain Punch, Type Null Drain Punch, and Mega Rock Slide, Rhydon Drain Punch. This thing just has an immensely good matchup in this game. And as for the last move, I kind of went back and forth here with the last move here, but I decided to go with X Scissor because, since, like I said, I'm not bringing Drapion here, Hoopa Unbound is a huge threat, and I would like to get rid of that thing as quickly as possible, and I still, it's mainly just here for Hoopa, and there's nothing much else to say about that. It was just the fact that Drain Punch can 2 KO Hoopa, but Hoopa's in a situation where it can just clean up the rest of my team. I'm clicking X Scissor. I know my Glade can take 1 hit from Hoopa Unbound from full. This could also take on the likes of Salazzle if it's not Nasty Plot. Mega, it can live a non-Life Orb Air Slash with my max HP investment, and a couple of other moves at its disposal, but overall, this thing just does a lot of work from Team Preview, and I just had to bring a set like this. So the EV spread is the exact same EV spread as last week's. No real variation in coverage there, with a little bit of difference being the investment in my speed, which is enough for non-scarf Mienshao, and everything slower than that, and then max HP. The rest I just threw into attack to boost the power of its moves, and that's pretty much it. So now for the reasoning behind not bringing Drapion. There was two possibilities with this team. It's either I bring my Drapion or I bring Bronzong. I decided on Bronzong, and just looking at this set, Trick Room Bronzong does go in against her team. Look at Cress's Steel Resist, the Zeraora, Togedemaru, Salazzle. All three of them are just destroyed by Earthquake, and even more so, I'm going to try to use her speed advantage over my team against her team. Her Zeraora 143 speed, potential Scarf Togedemaru, Mimikyu can't knock me out with one hit. Even Swords Dance boosted Shadow Sneak can't knock out Bronzong, and I can go for a Gyro Ball if its disguise is broken. Just blow that thing back. Salazzle gets destroyed by EQ if it's not running like Air Balloon. Mienshao gets destroyed by Gyro Ball. Lapras takes with some chip damage, gets destroyed by Gyro Ball. Mega Sceptile gets destroyed by Gyro Ball. Hoopa Unbound Gyro Ball if it's not like a bulky Trick Room variant of its own. Needs some help with Type Null, but Type Null is kind of easy to wear down here, especially if I'm able to knock off its Eviolite and keep my Mega Gallade relatively healthy. Yeah, Mega gets destroyed by Gyro Ball if it's speed boost, and then Rhydon still takes a good amount from Earthquake or Gyro Ball, even though Rhydon is it's slow like my Bronzong, but Earthquake will still do a good chunk of damage if I'm able to get off any damage on the Rhydon, put it in range of my Bronzong's Earthquake. And then the last move, we just have Explosion here. If it's the last turn of Trick Room, I can just fire off a Life Orb Explosion and get the momentum, get some switch initiative as Trick Room ends, and then go out into one of my other Mons and try to pick up the pieces from there. So very straightforward EV set, max attack, brave nature, hit as hard as possible, make Gyro Ball hit as hard as possible, be as slow as I can for Trick Room to work, and then enough HP to hit a Life Orb number, and the rest I just threw in a special defense to better check stuff like Mega Sceptile. Now, next up we have our Unaware Clef, pretty much same set as last week. The only exception is I'm running Moonlight over Protect, as I don't have Toxic Spikes this time, and then Heal Bell, Moonblast, very straightforward. This is my way of preventing stuff like Swords Dance Mimikyu from sweeping my team, because Mimikyu is still a big threat to this team, as it can overwhelm me with a combination of Ghost and Fairy, and I do not want that thing to get out of hand if I can help it. The EV spreads on my Clefable, I'm running enough. The HP and defense investment ensures that my Clefable can take a Gunk Shot from a non-banded Hoopa Unbound or not unboosted Hoopa Unbound after rocks, and the rest is just throwing the special defense so I can better check stuff like Mega Sceptile, like I said. So like I said, I'm repeating myself a lot, but this Clefable is just simply here mainly to prevent SD Mimikyu from just destroying my team, because as you can tell, I didn't bring Drapion, so I don't have a Ghost Resist on this build. Well, with the exception being Cinccino, but I'm not going to go hard Cinccino on a Mimikyu. I can easily click player off if my Bronzong is weakened or eliminated altogether. So I gotta be very, very careful around Mimikyu if she does bring that particular set, and this pretty much ensures that SD Mimikyu won't be a problem. I'm expecting either Salazzle or the Togedemaru to come in on Clefable. I'm just going to click Wish initially and then switch out into something like Seismitoad or Bronzong. Depending on the Mon, they can both handle it pretty decently. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Clefable. Nothing much else to say in that regard. And then next up we have our Seismitoad here with leftover Stealth Rock, Scald, Earthquake, and Knockoff. It's just overall just a very straightforward utility option at my disposal with a way to get rid of stuff like I can Scald, the potential burn on something, Earthquake to blow back Togedemaru and Zeraora, and then Knockoff just to get rid of stuff like Type Null's Eviolite, some other Scout for Z moves and all that stuff. The investment, pretty much the same thing as my Clefable. This guarantees that I can take 2 Hyperspace Furies, a Jolly Max attack, non-banded Hoopa Unbound after Stealth Rock, and the rest is again thrown in special defense, so I can check the likes of Salazzle. If I'm able to pass a wish into my Seismitoad, I can better go into Salazzle. I can take a hidden power grass and then heal back up to full and then force that thing out. So very, very good utility option in my Seismitoad here. Then next up, we have an Assault Vest Thunderous Tyrion. So the idea behind Thunderous Tyrion is the fact that I didn't really feel like I had anything that could better check something like Yanmega. And I'm still having flashbacks to when Yanmega essentially just swept my team because I didn't bring Mamoswine. I wanted to make sure that I had something that can at least check the Yanmega. This is my response to that. So we have Thunderbolt, U-Turn, Hidden Power Ground, and Sludge Bomb as a fourth move with enough speed is here for Mimikyu and non-Scarf Togedemaru. And I'm running enough special attack investment to guarantee knock out Salazzle after Stealth Rock. So as for the rest of the move, it's pretty straightforward. Thunderbolt for general stab coverage, U-turn so I can pivot out on stuff like Zero Aura. Expecting Thunderbolt, I can U-turn on Hoopa. I come close to knocking it out. I guarantee knock it out after rocks with the expected investment on her Hoopa. I can knock it out after Stealth Rock, and Hidden Power Ground blows back. Potentially 2 KOs. Zero Aura, depending on her investment, it blows back Togedemaru, it blows back Salazzle as they're both 4 times weak to ground. And then Sludge Bomb is just there so I can better have a move to better hit something like Sceptile. It's 2 KO'd with some it's 2 KO from full in general. So that's pretty much the idea with Sludge Bomb. And then lastly, obligatory speed control or speed on my team being Choice Scarf Cinccino. It's become kind of a habit now, but this is my way of outspeeding stuff like Scarf Mienshao. I outspeed Zero Aura, Mega Sceptile, +1, Mega I outspeed. And then movesets are again very straightforward. Tail Slap is just very spammable once Mimikyu is gone, or I can weaken something like Rhydon. Bullet Seed is here for the Rhydon, and it's my way of dealing with hitting Mimikyu. Same thing with Rock Blast, but Rock Blast is more of a thing for Yanmega and Salazzle. And then U-turn just to pivot out, get some momentum, something like that. EV spread, very straightforward, enough max attack, enough speed for Mienshao, and the rest is just thrown into HP. So that's pretty much going to be it for the team. Nothing much else to say in regards to that. I feel like it's a very straightforward top to bottom team. Like I said, I really wanted to bring Drapion for the Hoopa Unbound matchup, but I just didn't feel like I could bring it in good faith because of the rest of the team in general. It just kinda didn't have what I wanted in terms of. Well, it wasn't really the fact that I didn't have a good matchup. It was more like it was a toss-up between Drapion and Bronzong, and I felt like I wanted to try out Bronzong a little bit better because I felt like I could utilize the Trick Room option a little bit more. But enough about that. Let's just run it right into the battle and see how we do for our Week 7 matchup. So here we are with the battle for Week 7 of the IBL, and as you can see, my opponent KreselleKey decided to bring her Mienshao, Yanmega, Hoopa Unbound, Rhydon, Salazzle, and the Zero Aura. So first thing you notice, there is no Mimikyu, so I feel very, very happy to not see Mimikyu on Cress's side. So my Mega Gallade can actually do a ton of work in this game. The only thing I really have to do is just get rid of that Yanmega, and everything else is kind of just going down because, in all honesty, I want to keep my my Mega Gallade as healthy as possible because it does look like it just goes in from a matchup standpoint. Some other things to note here, since Mimikyu is not on her side of the field by Clefable, it's a little bit more expendable because Clef was really just here to check the Mimikyu, but it can also check stuff like the Mienshao. It could take a Air Slash from Yanmega and stuff like that, so it's not totally expendable, but at the same time, its usefulness won't be that needed, quote unquote. So, just in terms of a lead matchup here, I decided to just lead off with my Cinccino, just because it guarantees outspeed everything unless for some reason she's a Scarf Zero Aura, which I just don't see her bringing Scarf Zero Aura against a team that has a Seismitoad and a Thunderous Tyrion. So, With that all being said, let's just jump right into the matchup here. And with that, like I said, I'm going to lead off with my Cinccino just because it had the best matchup overall. I get some early momentum. I don't lose out on pretty much anything because, like I said, if she leads off with Rhydon, I can scare the thing out with Bullet Seed. If she let out with Mienshao, I can just U-turn out of there and then go into something more appropriate. So we're going to lead off with Swiffer, the Cinccino, and she's going to decide to lead off with Memphis, her Mienshao. So, like I said, if she's Scarf, I guarantee outspeed this thing, so I am just going to go for the U-turn, get some momentum, I guess, some fast momentum, get a good chunk with that U-turn here. I'm just going to U-turn out into my Seismitoad, just to see what her attacking potential is. She's going to go fire off a U-turn of her own. That did a good amount of damage, and it reveals she's Life Orb. So that pretty much explains why she did so much damage. So now I know she's got Choice Scarf, so my Cinccino will outspeed it. So in comes the Hoopa and Bound here. And I'm kind of freaking out because, like I said, I don't want to go hard Clef because I'm still fearing the Gunk Shot. So she's going to go for Hyperspace Fury, do a crap ton of damage to my Seismitoad here. I'm going to fire off an Earthquake. I believe I go for an Earthquake here. What I should have did actually was go for Knockoff, just to gauge and see if she was like Choice Scarf or something, or if she was like some boosting item. But I did a good amount of damage with Earthquake, especially considering she was at -1 defense. So now I believe at this point I'm going to go for the... I'm going to switch out here. I'm going to double into my... Well, not double, but I'm going to go out into my Clefable here to take the next Hyperspace Fury, as that is not going to do that much damage, of course, because it resisted. I don't really gauge if the damage words. Gauging from the damage she did to my Clefable, I know for a fact she's not Choice Banded. She could be Choice Scarfed here, so just looking at what she's going to do. She's going to switch out, so right away I'm assuming she's Choice Scarf here, so she's going to go out into her Salazzle here. I believe I just throw up a Wish. Yeah, I go for Wish here because I knew the Salazzle was an obvious switching to my Clef, so I'm going to go for a Wish, and I believe I'm going to just go right back out into my Seismitoad, because unless she predicts me and goes for Hidden Power Grass, she will not knock out my Seismitoad in one hit. Actually, she's just going to reveal the Toxic, so that's totally fine by me. It doesn't really matter much because I do have Heal Bell on my Clefable, so we're going to get hit with the Toxic. We're going to get healed back to a good amount of health, and then we're going to take some Toxic damage and get some leftovers recovery back. So here I believe I go for a knockoff this turn, as she is going to preserve her Salazzle and go out into Surge Storm her Yanmega. So I'm just going to go fire off a knockoff here just to get rid of something, an item, and go for the knockoff. Don't see an item removed, so this is her Zmon, and I'm wondering what Z Crystal could she potentially have on this Yanmega. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to preserve my Seismitoad because I still need it to check stuff like Zeraora. So I'm going to go out into my Yanmega, switching, being my Assault Vest Thunderous Tyrion. She's going to go straight for the Bug Buzz, and she is going to do not much damage to my my Thunderous. Going to get the speed boost here, and here I'm thinking, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that there was no way she is going to she's going to protect here, and I'm thinking there's absolutely no way that she could knock me out with any one hit here. So I'm going to go for U-turn, and then what I should did here was I made a mistake, because she's going to pop her Z move, and I see her making the sign for Rock EMZ, and I'm like, oh, I completely blanked on the fact that Yanmega learned Ancient Power. So which is kind of stupid because Yanmen needs Ancient Power to evolve into Yanmega. So I'm going to blank on the Ancient Power. I'm like, oh crap, I think I just lost my Thunderous to the Continental Crush here. But as you're going to see, we're going to live on 11 by blanked, and I went for U-turn again. There was no reason for me to click U-turn. There was no way she was going to go into Rhydon at that point. And I was like, yeah, I missed an opportunity to take out this Yanmega with Thunderbolt. I had no reason to U-turn. What's to double U-turn again? She could have thought I was Scarfed. She still probably could, but I really had no reason to do what I did there. So I'm going to blank there. She's gonna go for Air Slash. She's gonna miss. I go for Heal Bell here. Ideally, I probably should have went for Moonblast here because this Mega was still a threat. So that was probably another misplay and me just playing badly around the Mega. Like, I missed 2 opportunities to potentially knock out this Mega. She's going to go for another Air Slash here, and she is going to do a good chunk. I'm just going to throw up another Wish. Again, I should have just went for Moonblast here. I shouldn't have tried to get so cheeky around the Mega. Like I said, multiple times Mega was a threat. And there was literally no reason for me to go for Wish in this situation, because the only thing I would have tried to Wish Pass into was Thunderous, and I wouldn't do that as this thing is trying to go for another attack. So now I'm going to try to pass this Wish into my Bronzong as she goes for another Air Slash here. She's not going to do much. I'm going to heal back up to full HP, and now I am going to go for the Trick Room. So I'm trying to get the momentum back on my side, and I am playing very, very poorly around this Mega. I should have went for the Gyro Ball here as she goes for Bug Buzz, but I went for Trick Room. I played that card a little bit too early because she still had a lot of Pokemon at full HP, and she's just going to go for the Protect to stall out her Trick Room. I should have just went for Gyro Ball, like I said. I missed 3 opportunities in killing this Mega, and it's not gonna work out. But luckily for me, she does not get the double protect here. I go for the Gyro Ball, and we are going to knock out the Mega. Finally, I decide to knock out the Mega here, and now she's gonna go out into Sir Cheese, which is gonna be her Rhydon, and Rhydon's, it's at full HP. I can't take this thing out in one hit, so I'm gonna switch out, and I'm gonna try to sack off my Thunderous here, as she decides to just go for Stealth Rock here. So either way, my Thunderous was going to drop to the to Rocks here, but I decided to try to get it in before she went for Stealth Rock here. She's going to make a switch out here. I thought she would have just knocked me out here, but she makes a play into Zeraora here. I'm just going to click Hidden Power Ground because I really had nothing to lose except my Thunderous, and I got off a good roughly 50% on this Zeraora. As she's just gonna fire off a knockoff and take out my Thunderous finally. So essentially she missed an opportunity to like knock me out earlier. She reveals Life Orb on the Zeraora as well. I'm gonna go out into my Cinccino here because I am faster. I am Choice Scarf, and I believe I'm just gonna go for the U-turn here. She is gonna withdraw. No, actually, I went for Tail Slap here, and here I really, really wanted to click Bullet Seed, but I didn't. I really wanted to click Bullet Seed, but hindsight told me not to, as I go for Tail Slap here on this Rhydon. And now I'm Choice Locking the Tail Slap. I'm going to be forced to switch out. I'm going to go out into my Clef. And what I'm going to do here, as she's going to go for an Earthquake. So I'm going to let the Rhydon take out my Clefable here. We live 1-6. So before my Clefable goes down here, I'm actually just going to throw up a Wish before letting my Clefable go down. My Moonblast won't take out Rhydon in one hit anyway, and Clefable, like I said, wasn't doing much else in this matchup. Hoop was already been weakened, and I don't want to risk the Gunk Shot anyway, so Clefable's going to drop here, but I do get up a Wish in the air, so that is the important thing. Here is kind of a misplay. I'm going to go into my Bronzong, thinking there's no one attack that this Rhydon's going to go for. I can knock out my Bronzong unless she has Fire Punch. She reveals Brick Break, and she crits me. And that I will touch on after the match, but I will say that was crucial because I didn't get my Bronzong back up to full. And now I'm going to go on to my Mega Gallade here. I want to Mega Evolve, and I'm going to click Bulk Up here because unless she's packing Toxic on this Rhydon, she cannot knock out my my Mega Gallade with any one hit whatsoever. So we're going to go for Bulk Up, get to +1 attack and defense. She is just going to go for an Earthquake and just try to get some damage off on my Gallade. In hindsight, that was her best play since I have no EQ switch-ins anymore. I'm going to go for Drain Punch. And it's going to be a clean 2-hit KO. I essentially could have bulked up again, but considering I didn't want to risk getting crit again, I decided to go for the damage on this Rhydon. As she is just going to go for another Earthquake. Do a good chunk of damage, but Mega Gallade is just With the defense boost, just putting in a lot of work here. Go for another Drain Punch, finish off this Rhydon here. So, trying to battle back here, so we are now down just 3-4, as this Rhydon is going to drop to Mega Gallade. So, now she's going to send back out her Hoopa, and I'm thinking, okay, she must think Hyperspace Fury is enough to take out my Mega Gallade. No, she has Destiny Bond. I'm like, oh no. Yeah, so this is where I really wish I had knocked off with my Seismitoad on the Hyperspace Fury, because I'm gonna knock out her the Hoopa with the Drain Punch, but I am unfortunately gonna lose my my Mega Gallade in the process thanks to Destiny Bond. So a potential Mega Gallade sweep was in the works, but it was not meant to be here. So now I'm going to send out my Seismitoad here. She is going to go back into her Mienshao. And I'm thinking, okay, all I need is damage on something, because at this point, the only way I can win this game is on the back of my Cinccino. So she's going to go for High Jump Kick, and she's going to crit my Seismitoad. So, in hindsight, that probably didn't matter. I did the calcs afterwards. It was a roll without the crit. So now, it's basically going to come down to my Cinccino landing 3 Tail Slaps. So, we go for Tail Slap the first time, we connect. So there's no way this Mienshot's going to live the Tail Slap since I guarantee hit 5 times. So that's 1 down. I need to hit 2 more, and the most crucial one is on the Salazzle, because the Salazzle still have full HP. It comes to 0 Aura. I have to land another Tail Slap. We land another Tail Slap, so that's 2. So the 0 Aura is now going to drop. So now it comes down to this. This is the last turn. I have to land the Tail Slap and get the roll in my favor. It's 93 minimum to 111. First I had to hit the Tail Slap. We do. Do we get the rolls we need? That's 3, that's 4, and that's 5. Good God Almighty, I did not think that at the end of the day, it would come down to Cinccino, of all things, bailing me out, and in hindsight, winning us the game 1-0 over the New York Excelpikas. That was a match and a half, let me tell you. So, just to backtrack a few turns. So, first and foremost, the crit on my Bronzong when the Rhydon went for Brick Break. Doing the calcs, there was absolutely no way even a max attack Adamant Rhydon would have knocked out Bronzong from the range of HP was at. It was at 65 HP. The max Brick Break was doing was 50. So I would have been able to get up a Trick Room, gotta wish my wish back. So I essentially would have been in like 60%. And then I would have been able to fire off at least 2 EQs to knock out the Rhydon. I would have had enough health to live EQ one more thing and then go for Explosion. Then gone into my Cinccino and potentially won the game that way. But unfortunately, it didn't come out. It didn't work out that way. The same thing with Seismitoad. Essentially, if the Mienshao wasn't Life Orb, then there was absolutely no way that High Jump Kick was killing, even though it revealed she was Reckless. Reckless High Jump Kick was a roll actually, but it was a roll in my favor. So hindsight didn't really matter because she was Life Orb, and the crit on Seismitoad didn't matter as much as the way the game came down to it. Essentially, I played very badly. Especially, like I said, I played badly around the Yan Mega. I missed 3 opportunities to knock it to take it out, and I don't know why I was playing so conservatively. And the other thing I should have did was, instead of going into my Bronzong after I went for Wish on my Clefable, I should have gone to Gallade, because I essentially would have gotten to +2 with my Gallade, and then I could have gotten back more health. But at the same time, I'm not going to be able to predict Scarf, Destiny, Mono, Hoopa, and Bound. Like, what? There's no way I'm going to predict Scarf, Hoopa, and Bound with Destiny Bond. There's absolutely... I'm not thinking about that at all in this situation. But nonetheless, it's Scarf Cinccino that's going to bail us out. We pick up the 1-0 win. Cinccino picking up 3 kills in that game. Mega Gallade with 2 and 1 for Bronzong. So, yeah, we move to 3 and 4 now. Inching ever so closely to nabbing one of those playoff spots, and we still have 5 more weeks to go in the IBL. So that's going to be it from me, guys. GG to Crest. She played very well. Albeit I did misplay a lot, but I'm not trying to take anything away from her. That's going to be it from me, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And like I said, the links to everyone will be in the description down below. That's going to be it from me. And until next time, guys, this is Tone, signing off for now. Peace out.